America's 423 National Park Service sites have seen a surge in visitation during the pandemic, and it's expected that 2022 will be no different. Across the country, you may run into reservation systems, closures, increased fees, and other changes at national parks. In this video, we're going to share with you all the changes you can expect visiting national parks this year. I'm Abby Epperson, and this is RV Miles, your home for RV, camping, and U.S. travel news and information. Now, before we jump in, please take a moment to click the subscribe button below so we can keep you informed as you plan your travels for 2022. Masks continue to be required indoors in all federal buildings, which includes national park facilities. Visitors to national parks, regardless of vaccination status, are required to wear a mask indoors and in crowded outdoor spaces. Masks are also required for everyone on all forms of public and commercial transportation, like tour buses and shuttles. Most visitor centers and indoor historic sites remain closed, so you won't be able to tour things like the USS Arizona Memorial or the Harry S. Truman Home until COVID restrictions lift. In some parks, tours are still available, but are limited to a small number of people. Restroom facilities are generally open, and in many places, rangers have set up outdoor visitor centers in order to provide information and permits. Most concessionaire-run facilities are open, like gift shops, lodges, and restaurants. Reserved entry was implemented in several parks across the country during the surge in visitation in 2020 and 2021, and you can expect that trend to continue into 2022. At Glacier National Park, tickets will again be required for each vehicle entering Going to the Sun Road, but this summer, a ticket will also be required to visit the North Fork area of the park. Going to the Sun Road and North Fork are two separate tickets and will become available by early March. The park does not charge for them, but recreation.gov charges a $2 non-refundable service fee. Going to the Sun Road tickets will now be good for 3 days instead of 7, and North Fork tickets will be available for 1 day only. At Rocky Mountain National Park, entry reservations are no longer required, but it is expected that they will return this summer, along with an increase in entry fees. At Yosemite, reservations are no longer required and aren't quite as likely to return. They were more of a public health precaution than crowd control. Beginning in April, Arches National Park will be operating a test run of a reservation system. Timed entry tickets will be required from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily and will allow visitors to enter the park during a 1-hour window. Tickets will be released a month at a time beginning in March. Zion National Park is avoiding a reservation entry system again for 2022, and it's not likely that you will need shuttle tickets again to access the Zion Canyon. But the popular and somewhat dangerous Angel's Landing hike will now require an advanced permit and reservation beginning in April. If you plan to hike Angel's Landing between April 1st and May 31st, you need to apply for a permit between January 3rd and January 20th, and on a monthly rolling basis thereafter. Advanced reservations continue to be required to enter the cave at Carlsbad Caverns. You will not be able to pick up tickets day of for entry to the cave, either down the elevator or through the natural entrance. The National Park Service is the largest operator of campgrounds in the country, and changes are coming to many of them. Primarily more required reservations and fewer first-come, first-served campsites. At Yellowstone, the much-anticipated reopening of Fishing Bridge, the only campground in the park with RV hookups, is expected to happen May 27th. The campground has been closed for reservations since the end of the 2019 season and will now have new, larger sites, a larger parking lot, new dump station, more showers, and laundry facilities. The upper loop will have 172 paved sites designed for larger RVs, mostly pull-throughs, ranging from 40 feet to 95 feet in length. Fishing Bridge reservations have only just opened, so snag them up before they're gone. Most of Yellowstone's other 13 campgrounds are now reservation only. You will only be able to get first-come, first-served sites at 4 campgrounds: Indian Creek, Pebble Creek, Tower Falls, and Lewis Lake. At Grand Teton, all campgrounds are now reservation only, available for booking on a 6-month rolling basis, while a limited number of sites will be held back for reservation on a 14-day rolling basis. Park campgrounds will no longer be reservable through local campground call centers. You're only able to reserve on recreation.gov. At Glacier National Park, the Apgar and Sprague Creek campgrounds will now require advanced reservations in addition to Fish Creek and St. Mary campgrounds. Rising Sun and Avalanche campgrounds will remain first come, first served. Dozens of other campgrounds across the park system are switching to reservation only, so make sure to check in advance if you're going back to an old favorite site without booking first. If you're heading to Fort Pickens Campground, a favorite out on the Gulf Island National Seashore in the Florida Panhandle, you'll no longer be able to head out there with a large motorhome or fifth wheel. The roadways have been limited to a maximum vehicle height of 12 feet. Nationwide, you may find lots of construction at visitor centers, on roadways, and in campgrounds due to a large infusion of funding from the Great American Outdoors Act that passed last year and some other bills. For instance, at Saratoga National Historic Park, a $6.6 million project will begin in 2022 rehabbing the park's popular self-guided Battlefield Tour Road. The most heavily traveled road in Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, a 7-mile section of U.S. Route 209, will get rebuilt beginning in the spring. $14 million will be spent on replacing the HVAC system in most of the buildings at Independence National Historical Park. Sporadically across the park system, you'll find increases in some entrance, camping, and amenity fees. Walnut Canyon National Monument will transition from an individual entry fee of $15 per person to a $25 per vehicle fee, making it more in line with other parks. Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore will be charging entrance fees for the first time starting March 1st, 2022. You'll also see fewer cash pay boxes across the park system and more credit card machines. In many places, cash is no longer accepted for permits, camping, or entrance. Each year, the National Park Service offers 5 fee-free days, which in 2022 will be January 17th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, April 16th, the first day of National Park Week, August 4th, the anniversary of the Great American Outdoors Act, September 24th, which is National Public Lands Day, and finally, November 11th, Veterans Day. We generally recommend people with annual passes avoid these days as they can be very busy in popular parks. Annual passes to all public lands are $80 per year for a carload of 4 adults. Lifetime passes are $80 for seniors, and free passes are offered for 4th graders, veterans, and those living with permanent disabilities. Check out our video covering all the national park passes, and we'll link to that in the description for this episode. That's it for this video. Let us know if you know of any other changes coming to the national parks this year by leaving a comment down below. And make sure to hit the like button if you got something out of this video, and consider clicking subscribe if you want to get more like it. We'll see you next time.